Now, someone explain to me this. Why is Karl Anthony Towns saying that if he would, he could change the game? That he has changed the game. Like, there hasn't been any other transcendent bigs in NBA history that, shoot the ball from behind the arc, or at least shoot from far range and high efficiency before. Like Dirk Nowitzki, Rasheed Wallace didn't exist around the previous few decades. Or Joel Embiid. A majority of which won the league MVP, by the way. Some that won league MVP were more efficient and plus didn't even have to shoot. So what part of Karl Anthony Towns is, impactful over in the game? I've watched Karl Anthony Towns now for a majority of his NBA career. And I know he's good. Don't get me wrong. But when has that ever spontaneously showing a winning culture over in the Minnesota Timberwolves over the past 2 playoff appearances that ended in first round upsets? The most that you guys had were early around the year when you guys had Jimmy Butler. You spurred around a third seed before trade deadline, and then you guys got hurt. You missed out and got eliminated by the Houston Rockets. I remember that. I was highly disappointed because I'm a fan of Jimmy Butler. And we got the time now that you guys, over a 6-game series, was trying to escape nearly a sweep. No, I think you lost in 5 against the Denver Nuggets over that missed shot over by Anthony Edwards. I'm sure he's upset about it. We know that he walked off over on the tunnel before the team left. Obviously, I think he was quiet around the post-game interview. I know that was tough for him knowing he's a young player. Team was on his shoulders right there. But it's okay. He still has a long time to develop. He'll get that clutch gene eventually. But Towns, I'm shocked they haven't traded you yet, to be honest. Over all this, over the media of trying to inspire an optimism over in Minnesota, he's never been a primary asset. Especially over the time when Jimmy Butler bitched him over in practice when he knew that he was immature, delusional, had all-star quality, but not a leading ability to actually improve a team. So it's been blatant over the tenured career of Karl Anthony Towns. Now he's been in the NBA for a while. Yes, he did win Rookie of the Year. Made 2 All-NBA teams with 3 All-Star appearances. But if we just look over his last 5 games over in the Denver Nuggets series, he was abysmal. He came only shooting 50% once. And the nigga was so inefficient. 3 of 12, 5 of 15. He only showed up over the game, I think, after they just lost. Literally, he came from averaging around 26 points to only averaging around 17, and then only scoring under 15 over the last 2 games. So, if any of you guys try to say the number 1 option on the Minnesota Timberwolves is Karl Anthony, it's Anthony Edwards, and it's nothing close. Over his minuscule postseason appearances, Towns is already over his prime years where he should be dominating around the league. But over his 27th year of age, not his year in the NBA, that's insane. And he switched over in the power forward, over playing the 5 position, I guess the transition because Rudy Gobert got traded around last offseason to the Minnesota Timberwolves to try to develop the Twin Towers. So yet again, to rotate around this guy that obviously still not suited over to be the number 1 option, he's averaging less points over lower field goal range, and of course lesser efficiency over from his hot spots from behind the arc. He's just not impressive, guys. I'm sorry. I hate to say that. Towns, I'm not denouncing your ability to score the basket, But you being any type of number one option, or at least a top 20 player in the NBA, there's guys way better than you, and there were always guys way better than you. And I hate to say that, because I want to see the Minnesota Timberwolves succeed, because I feel like it's been so many years of mismanagement, wasted good players, and just poor potential for a good fan base. Just like how it is now for the Sacramento Kings when they had to let go of Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield to actually develop, win, and try to develop over around the bench and finally make it to the postseason over all these years. And they just came off a great 7-game series against the Golden State Warriors. And now there's optimism for the Sacramento Kings to actually take over with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. And now people are still counting their time, how long they're going to have with Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Or if they can still make any moves involving if they can actually get a reasonable asset for any of the guys they had over in rotation after trading like a bunch of first-round picks and rotational options like Jared Vanderbilt that just made it to the conference finals with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I don't know why the Minnesota Timberwolves are shooting themselves in the foot. And I don't know why Towns is getting himself so confident when he's never been the primary reason for any of the regular season or postseason success for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And even if he has done it, it never proceeded anywhere further than the first round. So Towns, respectfully, shut the fuck up for like one day. Why are athletes even having these podcasts? I'm serious. I mean current athletes, retired athletes, I don't care. They have the experience. They've had the time spent. I don't mind them having their little encyclopedia or time to talk about this so they can have their own echo chamber. I don't care. Why am I hearing Trae Young have a podcast? And these are all active athletes that you're seeing. Draymond Green with his own podcast. I understand you guys want external, I guess, sources of income, and I guess it has something to it gives you something to do. But I feel like this is your own echelon to just get your own voice in there, so you can punch your own narrative, because you don't want the media doing it for you. And I guess what? All I can say is you guys need more hobbies. That's my opinion in the matter. Towns, you gotta chill out, because even around the second half of Dirk Nowitzki's career, even though he made like 15 straight, around 15 straight All-Star appearances, League MVP, 2011 NBA champion, you can never touch that. So please, let me understand. Let me understand why is he still putting himself over in high regard when he knows the Timberwolves have tried their damnedest to actually try to suit a roster around Towns more times than not, and guess what? He still never showed up to be a legitimate top 5 big in the NBA, because I'm sure a lot of people have their top 5 bigs in the NBA. And he comes over to Nikola Jokic. He's not better than him. Joel Embiid, he will never be better than him. And even at the forward position, you are not beating Giannis Antetokounmpo in your dreams. I swear to you. Only people that you're better than is possibly DeAndre Ayton. All because he's not efficient enough from behind the arc. Honestly. So that's my opinion over on the matter. How do you guys feel about these delusional takes over by Karl Anthony Towns saying that he changed the game, they'll drop 40 and shit? I get it. Over this influx of a high-scoring league, I understand, and guess what? It wouldn't doubt me if Karl Anthony Towns had a 30, 40-point game. I get it. Towns is good, but he isn't good enough to be in the upper echelon of elite NBA players, especially in this modern age where it just feels like younger players keep exceeding a level higher than he is because he's just still stuck over his own echo chamber. Thanks for watching Sidelines Production. That's it for me.